Hi everyone, some of you will know me, some of you won't. My name is Sarah Larby. I've been organising the emails and the promotion for tonight's event. So before we go on, I'll just tell you a little bit about what's going to happen. We've got some interviews to share with you, and then after that we can all go onto the website and have a little bit of an explore together. So for this past week, we've been having conversations with Griselda Pollock, our head of school, Joanne Crawford, Sam Belafonte and Richard Bell, who are the heads of our studio module, as well as our technicians. So we've got some messages for everyone from them. And just before we go on, I would just want to say massive thank you to the web team. We're all going to get to see their amazing hard work in a couple of minutes. But that's thanks to Lily Thompson, Dan Cole, Gemma Jones, Grace Benita, and Olivia Savage, who've done an amazing job putting this all together. As well as a special thank you to everyone who's been working behind the scenes on the advertising team, the press team, on all the social medias. You know who you are, and you've done an amazing job. And of course, a big thank you to all our 63 artists who've contributed. I know a lot of hard work has gone into this. So let's all raise a glass and get started.
I think what all of us would like to say is to congratulate you enormously on the fact that you were suddenly confronted with everything that you wanted and expected as the conclusion of your degree was taken away. Right? And we entered into this sort of slightly terrifying and uncharted and unknown world where everybody had to adapt suddenly to separation, which is the absolute opposite of what happens in a studio. I mean, the whole life of a work of students in general, but art students in particular, is this. And you were going to work together and curate your own show and have that unbelievable experience of being together, and that was just taken from you, and yet you've managed to do it. You've adapted and you've created something which is going to kind of be a model for people in the future. You know, I don't think it's just a one-off. I think this is a fantastic learning experience of human adaptability and how you have learned to cooperate when you are not even together in the same space and the same room and in very different worlds. So I think as a kind of organizational team in general, I think you're just absolutely astonishing and a model of everything that I think your degree demonstrates.
Yeah, I think as well as that, one question that's been playing on a lot of students' minds is the aspect of jobs after uni, but also, you know, just why. I think a lot of people sort of sitting down, like you said, with the sort of uncertainty of the art economy. A lot of people, particularly, why do we make art? Why, you know, we can't sell it now. We can't. All we can do is show it online. What if it's a sculpture? Why am I even making it? And I think there's a lot of support going round that's sort of driven by that to remind each other and everyone else that art is about understanding all of this, as well as just, you know, trying to sell work or trying to make money off it. It's about.
That is absolutely wonderful. I know exactly, because the you know, I mean, I've always been sort of, you know, in all the interventions that I make when working with you or when lecturing, which was to kind of constantly bring to your attention artists whose deep sort of conviction about the necessity to make art, but also their sense that their art was part of the world. And it can be part of the world in a very kind of conscious political way, or it can be part of the world because it's a much deeper thinking about something that needs to be thought about. But I think you must never lose that sense. That. And then the challenge for you in this time is to think both what can I contribute because people need things at this time, and also what is it to think through time without being overwhelmed by it.
I think the thing that has impressed me the most and I know it's impressed all you know, the kind of your teachers and the people within the school, you know, with student support and everybody within the school. It's kind of the way you've just gone, do you know what, we're going to do this anyway. And I think that is incredible. You know, watching the stuff that you've been doing online and being involved in those initial online tutorials that you had with the fine art team. You know, there've been, you could tell that it's been an emotional roller coaster. But but you've made some incredible work. You've done incredible things, and the, you know, little videos that you've put online on a Sunday, and you know, it's kind of it's inspirational. It really is. I mean, I've been to 30 final degree shows, showing how old I am. It's from being a student through to where I am now. You know, as you know, as a student at Leeds and in our school. And this is nothing like the others. The others have all had their own flavour. You know, the students have done their thing. They've had themes and they've worked really, really hard. But this is exceptional. And I think that the work that you've produced, you should be incredibly proud of. You should be incredibly proud of yourself. I think that, you know, it's going to be what it will be. And at the end of coronavirus and everything that we're going to be doing, you know, kind of over the next few months, that when the school reopens, we will have you back and we will celebrate personally. Okay, and I'll come round and kind of you all, and you know, and we'll drink champagne and I'll meet your parents and all those kinds of things, and you love it. But I think, you know, that cannot take away from what you've achieved now.
I was quite concerned when it all sort of descended, that we would be sort of lost in this this period of time. But I think as it's gone on, I've realised that if anything, it sets us apart quite drastically in so many positive ways.
Yes. Yeah.
I was very, like I said, I was very concerned that it would be like, oh, the class of 2020 don't really count because they didn't really do a real show. But in reality, we've proved our salt in so many other areas.
Yeah.
It wasn't anticipated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very proud.
You should be. We're very, very proud of you. You know, don't ever underestimate that.
From my point of view, I think it's been the most exciting year I've been a part of. That's not to say it's been not hard. It's always hard to change or to adapt to something. But I mean, to me, that is what the whole creative act's about. That's what we do as creative people. We adapt. And I think you've done that wonderfully.
The 2020 Degree Show. Not what we were expecting. Not what we were expecting at all. By this point in time, normally, the technical staff would be absolutely knackered. We would have had several weeks of running around, sorting out problems, long hours, temper tantrums, crying, and that's just the staff. Not this year, no. All the students, all of you, have been working away at wherever you're now living, producing art. Some incredible art, especially with these just bizarre times. So you are to be congratulated for that. You really are. So good luck with this show. Good luck for the future. It's been a genuine pleasure to work with all of you and to know you. And that is it from me. Cheers.
I think there's a lot of mythology around, you know, struggle and kind of creativity, and that somehow, like, you know, things are really bad and you're going to make some really beautiful work. I think that's kind of quite a simplistic view of it. I think what's more important is how you've responded and how you've actually decided to kind of approach what you're doing, and also, you know, to have those kind of 2 or 3 years behind you and to really draw on that, you know, that actually that you're realizing that this is about a whole program. It's not just about like you know, 5 or 6 weeks, And I think that's when I'm starting to look at your portfolios of work, I'm realizing that you have been drawing on all of that, on all of your experiences. And again, that's kind of to your, testament and to the strength of your work. For instance, the publication, which was, going to be maybe a small group of interested parties, ended up being something which is, all 63. And the same with all the projects you have. The DNA of every single student is in there.
Yeah, being united in something that we really wanted to achieve has highlighted what a kind of support base that we have here amongst each other and the students, and that's been, I think, some saving grace.
Hi everyone, congratulations on your Degreeshow product. It's not quite what you imagined. These have been unprecedented circumstances and infuriating for all of us. It must have been very hard to suddenly change your context in terms of studio and the social aspect of working with all your classmates. But nevertheless, you got it done, you overcame it, and I just want to say good luck with everything you do from now and whatever direction you decide to go in. I'm sure that I'll be seeing a fair number of you again, hopefully at your own solo show in person, and we can properly walk around and drink wine. But I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure working with you all over your time on the course, and I'm sure everything will work out just fine. Just keep saying that. And be professional, but don't completely grow up.
In the past, most of our degree students they've always kind of been at the edge of questioning what the hell this thing is, this Degreeshow, that you all have to do. And that's taken many forms. It's taken many forms in what they have done for their Degreeshow as a way of saying, but what's this all about really? And I think you've had to do the same. This year it's been forced on you more than maybe other years, but it's still the same thing about, well, what is this, and does it have to be done this way? And I think that's what the most exciting thing that you've achieved, because you've shown that no, it doesn't have to be done that way. It can be done this way.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's Degreeshow. I'm the AV technician, and I'd just like to say well done to all my students. I'm so proud of you, and I am so looking forward to seeing all your work. It's been a pleasure to get to know you all over the last 3 years, and if you want to stay in touch, you can email me on kathlacey@gmail.com, and I wish you well in all your bright futures. Stay positive, be kind, and dream big. Bye.
Okay. Hey. Team Simmer, I'm so proud of you. You make me so happy. Very, very happy to have worked with all of you. I'm really, really proud of everything you've done this year, despite all this craziness. Ever since you kind of first started, it's been really, really fun to see your art change and grow. You really inspire me. So I just hope that you keep making and keep making and keep making. You're welcome to always come back and say hello. I hope I get a chance to say goodbye in person when this is all blown over and finished, and yeah. Anyway, all the love from me. Yeah. Job's out. And remember to stay alert and wash your hands.
As fine artists, you are in a privileged position in terms of setting out into the unknown. Because that's every time you start a work, you think, I don't know where I'm going. This is always, there's no charting. Each one of you has had to chart their own pathway through this idea of my work and my development and my project, etc. So I think you are very well prepared for a kind of life which is a little bit without parameters at the moment. I think it's really important to say, what did you really find suddenly that was taken away from you that was a substantially problematic one? What did you not mind losing? And then what did you put in place? Because I think that's the only thing to do in terms of, I don't know what the future is, but it's how you adapt to it. Another thing, which is when people ask you, what did you do? I did a degree in fine art. Oh, did you just sit about and kind of make art? You say, no, this is actually the thing that tests people to their limits, because there's nothing else but you. It's your initiative, your skills, your capacity to collaborate, the kindness you must be expressing to each other, you know, the support for each other, the kind of understanding of all the difficulties that people are in, etc. And, you know, while, you know, great big businesses and all sorts of other things have had to sort of, you know, adapt to, you have shown precisely what fine art is about, that it's such a complex degree.
You know, it's about bravery, it's about taking risks, it's about looking into your own resources. You know, it's not just about making things, you know, it's about changing you as human beings. And I think, you know, you've all risen to those challenges. It's a culmination of not just the last 3 months with all its ups and downs, but the last 3 years as well. So, you know, bring it on. That's what I'm saying.
We're signing off our emails saying, I hope you're okay in our strange times. And I think this is very interesting that's shifting. It suddenly got darker this week with the horror of what happened in the United States with the death of George Floyd. But, you know, these are very, very difficult historical times to live through. But there's a necessity, there's a place that art does to register, to be faithful to it, to bear witness to it, and to sustain some kind of imagination and dream. So I think one of the things that art does, it's a fiction. It's a fiction of something that you desire, or is that you remember, or is other, or could possibly be. And we need those now, right? We don't just need hard sort of social realism to say, look how ghastly it is. You actually need this sort of imaginative future that will help us to think through. So I would see your role as a really important one at this time. And that question, why should we still be making art? Well, just definitely keep making art to art while you're asking it, and then you will find out.
Without further ado, I present to you CIMA, the digital degree event, which is now live at cimaleeds.com. Please make your way there to see all the amazing work that our 63 students have put together. Thank you for listening.